Hello, my name is Jack Summerside. I'm Support and Development Officer with Connected Voice. Connected Voice is the voluntary sector infrastructure support organisation that serves both Newcastle and Gateshead. And as well as our support and development arm, we have another part of the organisation called Connected Voice Harif, which works towards health equity for Black, Asian and minoritized ethnic communities across Newcastle and Gateshead.
I'm Kevin Stoodley. For my sins, I'm the founder and current CEO of North East Young Dads and Lads Project. I've been involved in the project since pre-birth, really. So firstly as a part-time young fathers worker in 2015-16, working for a young women's charity, and then how it's progressed into the point where in 2021 we've got 7 or 8 staff working across a much kind of wider area and looking at things such as diversity.
Hi, my name's Owen Thomas. I work for a charity called Future Men. I'm the head of operations for the father strand of work. Sorry, I'm the head of programs for the father strand of work. We used to be known as Working with Men, and that's how I became aware of the work that led into the Diverse Dads project, being part of the Following Young Fathers work that was happening. You know, it's been going on for quite a number of years now. So I was asked to be part of the board, and I think it was a really great opportunity to help kind of support and nurture the idea that the project, the North East Young Dads and Lads project, wanted to broaden its reach and try and make sure that they were inclusive of everybody who resides up there who may be a young dad. I mean, fatherhood is such a key factor in the lives of men and young men as well, especially. So I thought it was really important and a really worthwhile cause to get involved with. So I've been really pleased to be part of the project so far.
Oh, great. Thank you. And you've led on to my next question as well, Owen. So thanks for that. Thanks for making my job really easy. To talking about like why you've all got involved in this project. And I guess I'll just open that out to the group as well to kind of hear people talk about the importance of this project or why they themselves felt either a personal connection or a connection through their organisation.
On a personal level, I was pleased to get involved because I've got long experience of working in community engagement research projects, working for a large sexual health charity for a number of years. We were continually asked to be the community partner or to bring some community knowledge to the table. Back at that time, there was never any money for the charitable organisation involved. Everybody around the table was being paid several pounds an hour, but the charity partner or the community partner was just supposed to be there because that's what you do. So the fact that that was built into the program, I was very pleased that we were asked and that we were able to bring that to the table. And then just lots of practical reasons, because as with the fact that we're doing this on Zoom, we're in the middle of a pandemic. I was able to bring a lot of experience about the ways that we've shifted some of our training and some of our events and actual practicalities of engaging with organisations at a time of COVID.
In terms of why we came to this project in the first place and why we asked the questions about diversity, as a charity that's primarily reliant on referrals, we've seen very little diversity in terms of young dads coming through. The majority of young men who've been referred to the project for the last 4 or 5 years have been identified as kind of being white British, really. And we think that's just something that we wanted to unpick, in greater detail. We know from work that we've done previously that, that there is a much kind of richer, diverse community out there that aren't engaging with our services. And we're really keen to sort of learn about, who we're missing and kind of where are these young people? Are their support needs different? And who else is out there in the region to provide support and help increase referrals into the project? We've got lots of young men who've got, they're wrestling with lots of the same challenges in their lives around fatherhood, about inclusion, isolation and loneliness. And we're just really keen to see how we can make the project much more inclusive and diverse. And as Jack says, on the back of COVID-19, we've moved towards much more of a digital service offer, which means that from a small project that is always limited by capacity, we can potentially kind of reach a much wider audience. So how do we do that? How do we shape our services kind of differently so they speak to a much more diverse community and bring a diverse community together, And
fatherhood is one of those kind of areas where we can find commonality and we can find things that bring us together whilst respecting the diversity and the difference of people's experience. So being asked to kind of be part of the advisory board was really kind of an honour and really important for me, because I felt as though we could bring knowledge from our learned experiences of delivering services to what I would say our service makeup is about 70-30 or so, the majority of those guys being of some ethnic minority background or another, but a significant proportion being white British, working class at that, mostly. And there are parallels with the North East there.
Young dads are hidden and they're missed off, or they're effectively sidelined because of their fatherhood status, So I think it's just really important that we ask those questions and we raise those of community groups as well as of larger organizations. And certainly what this kind of work has done so far for me in talking to some professionals out there who are community leaders is actually it's kind of raised the key question of people who just completely, never asked about fatherhood, never considered it. It's not something that comes up in discussions with young men, even though they have kind of rich communities of young men to kind of tap into. It's going to challenge us significantly to think about how we do things differently. I think in terms of new projects like the DigiDAD service, for instance, how are we representing other communities of young fathers out there, that we're not just kind of going with what we know, which is, the community of white British young men who probably primarily support. We're thinking about kind of wider communities and making sure that, what we do speaks to, recognises and kind of values and celebrates diversity.
And I think looking outwards, that diversity of opportunity for what being a dad can mean to young guys, the ability to try different things that are outside of your mindset, that are stretching, that we don't limit ourselves, whatever culture or ethnicity. If the common uniting factor is actually class and low income and lack of aspiration in our communities, the opportunity on the other end to make a whole a different meaning and a greater diversity of the opportunities that a dad can engage their kids with would take it to the next level.
The idea that you can, come down to somewhere like London and buy a package off the shelf about how you should do this kind of work where you are is never really going to work. You can have examples, but you've got to be able to do the work on the ground and adapt and develop your own practice with the core messages around respectful, inclusive, diverse practice embedded in that, but you need to have that taken on board by local agents. And I think that's what this project is doing, and that's what we'd want to see replicated across the country, where improving the inclusion, improving the diversity, and recognizing the value of that diversity is something that needs to be brought forward, and it needs to happen everywhere.
Yeah, thank you, and it's been really nice to hear from all you three. I think it's been a really insightful kind of interview, and thank you so much for kind of expressing your opinions very freely and very openly. And yeah, I'm very excited to see the actual webinar in full, and hopefully you guys will all be there as well. So it'll be a great day, and yeah, and thank you very much, and I'll see you all very soon.